Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Many Nigerians are not in the habit of donating blood, and experts say it is partly because of ignorance. And the blood transfusion system in Nigeria is still poorly developed, as a number of centers depend on paid donors with questionable health status prior to blood donations. Nigeria is still highly reliant on family replacement and paid donors. Less than 10% of donations in Nigeria are from voluntary donors. Professor Alani Akomu, a consultant hematologist, is here with us this morning to talk about this.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
We also have Dr. Deborah Edewo, who's chairperson, World Blood Donor Day.
Thank you very much.
And we also have Jayeoba Olaleko, who has made it a habit to donate blood from time to time. Good morning.
Good morning, ma. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you too much.
Professor, why is it that we have so much issue with donating blood, whereas it may be our own child who needs blood at one point or another?
One other problem actually is the fact that we do not know, we do not appreciate that there is what we refer to as health benefit of blood donation. People tend to believe that when they give blood, they will not have sufficient amount of blood to make them to carry on with their routines of life, which actually is wrong and it is not correct. For you to be a blood donor, we know the importance of the service you are about to render to us. You want to save the life of other people. But to also, as a practitioner, your life is even more important. For us to say you are fit to give your blood to save the life of other people, we must have found you fit as a blood donor. In fact, what we do to ensure that the life of our donor is safe is we subject them to a kind of a test. We call it blood donor fitness test. And this test is designed in such a way that you must fail it except you have sufficient amount of blood in your veins. And you have a little extra from which we can safely take. So blood donation exercise that we do is made safe. It is not that we do not have some unwanted effects of blood donation, but that is usually as a result of emotional shock for somebody who is donating for the first time and just see blood running out, then he runs into shock. And that can actually happen. And that's a way that is managed. Because we are not going to lie you on our couch and say, come and save the life of other people when we are not sure that your own life is already safe in our hands.
Why would someone run into shock? Is there no preparation prior to the time of drawing the blood?
Very unfortunately, there's no such preparation. You see, the way from your narrative, you can see that 90% of the blood that we transfuse in Nigeria, particularly in the hospital where I practice, comes from that group of people that we call family replacement donor. My father is sick. There's a need to have to go and donate blood. My wife needs this. I have to go and give blood. We do not have the culture of volunteering to give blood. So these are the people that are coerced one way or the other. And there's no way we are not going to be experiencing this kind of untoward side effect.
Dr. Edewo, you are the chairperson of World Blood Donor Day. Do you think there's enough awareness regarding people donating blood voluntarily so that your blood banks will be, well, in the red? It's a bank after all.
Yeah, actually, that's the challenge we have. There isn't enough awareness, especially in our country here. So we are trying to create that awareness, even with this World Blood Donors Day celebration. So it's really something we need to address in our country.
Indeed. Well, Jayeoba, you have made it a habit to be donating blood on a fairly regular basis. First of all, how often is this?
Every 3 months, ma.
You go and donate blood every three months, every quarter.
Yes, ma.
Why did you take that decision?
I believe by doing that, I derive happiness from that. By saving a life. I believe by
So you just woke up one day and decided, okay, I want to be saving lives, I'm going to be donating blood.
No.
Okay.
Actually, I derived that from my pastor's daughter.
Okay, what happened to your pastor's daughter?
She, as a lady, she used to be a voluntary donor. I just thought to myself that for me as a man, why won't I be able to be doing that even more than her? Though she does her own on 6 months.
So you had to better hers.
Since I asked the expatriate, and they told me that I can do that on 3-month basis. So I just thought it was the essence for me not doing it. Since I can do that.
How has it been since you started?
I've made that part of me.
Okay, tell us your first experience at blood donation.
Though to be a voluntary blood donor was not something I did one for my family member. Like when I was at my early stage, around say 2012, was my first time I did a blood donor. I made myself a blood donor. So the second one was when I have to derive that from, I started that one around 2017.
Okay.
To be a voluntary donor.
Prof. Akamu, part of the reasons why people don't come out to donate blood, some say it's the fear of disease. I mean, the injections, the syringes that are used to pierce for the blood to be drawn, some are concerned that they might not be exactly clear, and then for fear of transmission of disease and all that. So how do you go about preparing for blood to be received or given?
I've never even heard that before. The reasons why people donate blood
Yes,
is fear that you are afraid that you might catch a disease in the process of collecting blood from you will be the one that is not going to allow you to want to donate blood. That is far-fetched. That doesn't happen. To collect, the process of blood collection requires that we bring out what we call a blood bag. And blood bag comes with its own needle, sterile needle. And we buy this bag for each individual that is going to be a donor. And you don't pull out the bag from its container that is coming directly from the manufacturer until you're on a couch and you're about to donate blood.
See, this was a real-life situation. A woman whose 3 children were found to be HIV positive. And it was a product of one had to receive a blood transfusion at one time, one of the children. And then the mother used the clipper in barbing their hair, and then that had to barb the 3 of them, and that's how the 3 of them became HIV positive. But it was from the blood that the child collected. These are children.
Well, I don't understand that question.
So the question is,
I guess you
was
mean
the blood
that
properly
one of them received blood
transfusion, and then they shared a clipper to barb their hair. So at the end of the day, the 3 of them became. So the question is, how much of screening goes on before blood is collected from an individual? But you answer that when we come back from this break.
Okay. It's all right.
We'll take a break. We'll come back. Thank you very much. Prof, the question I asked you, how much of screening goes on before blood is collected from an individual?
So, as it's our duty to ensure the safety of the donor, it is equally our duty to ensure the safety of the blood recipient. So, right from the time of collection, like I told you, there are tests that we do to ensure that this donor is safe to donate. But there are also tests that we must do, what we call blood donor selection criteria questions that we have to apply to the prospective donor to ensure that this person will be a safe donor. Because you might have HIV infection and you don't know. You have hepatitis B virus infection, you don't know. you have syphilis infection, you don't know. There are a set of what we call blood donor selection criteria questions that we need to apply to you.
So
and all the answers must be in the affirmative no.
But if
The
I don't know,
problem are those
not...
individuals who have been induced with money to
No,
come and
no, Prof,
donate blood
Prof, wait.
and will not...
Prof, what if I don't know about this thing?
You will not know about, but you will be able to answer our question. Like if I ask you, have you ever given somebody money, or have you ever received money from somebody to have sex with that individual? What I'm driving at is to classify you as either a safe or a high-risk donor. So there are these questions that we apply that will let us know that this person might be a high-risk donor, that if eventually we screen this blood, is more likely to be positive for any of the so-called transfusion transmissible infectious agents. So these questions are already set, and we apply it onto you. And if those questions are truly answered in the affirmative, because we expect all there has to be no. But for those, so the problem we have is that those who have been induced with money to come and donate, because have been paid, they will answer everything no. Whereas these are people that at the end of the day, when we screen their blood, so if we collect blood from low-risk donor, and we now subject the collected blood to what we call screening test, and it is negative, that blood, like 100% assured that it will be safe to be transfused. But when we are collecting blood from high-risk donors, the problem of risk of the screening is the so-called, what we call serological latency period, where the infectious agent is there, but the thing we test for to be sure that the blood is safe has not developed in that individual. Then we might run a risk of transfusing an infected blood to that individual. So what is very critical in transfusion safety is that our donors come from population of low risk donor.
I'm going to come back to you. You said something earlier about you benefit of donating blood, that when you donate blood, you're somewhat healthier. I'll come back to you on that, but before I come to you, let me come to Dr. Edewo. Dr. Edewo, now the World Health Organization says there's a marked difference in the level of access to safe blood and blood products across the country. What are you doing in this regard, and how can it be improved?
Okay. If I get your question correctly.
Access to safe blood and blood products. There's a difference.
Okay. Okay, of how you assess safe blood in your community and the availability of blood products. Okay. When you talk about there being a difference, difference, I would say for availability of blood products, we are coming up with that currently. Like before now, usually blood is usually transfused as whole blood. Like somebody needs just a component. Like blood has different components, like platelets, the red cells, or the white cells. So depending on the indication for transfusion, if the person is infected, you want to give white blood cells. If it's anemia, you want to give red cell. Or if the person is bleeding, you want to give platelet and concentrate. So before now, we don't have those facilities. So what we do, we just give the whole blood. So sometimes people come down with volume overload or getting more than they require for an illness. But I think for a facility today, like in Luz, we have a good component separator that even hospitals around, they come to and get components from us. So I would say that that's a plus for now. And we are still trying to improve on it.
Okay. And accessibility? What about accessibility?
Accessibility is there, but it's availability that we should talk about. They can access it, but how available are these products?
Okay.
Are they readily available?
Yeah, no.
They're not.
Like somebody needs, somebody who is blood group A, will they get that product when they come in readily? We know that blood group O is what is common. It's the commonest blood group in the society. So people can readily get O. But if people are aware and donate blood voluntarily, we are sure to have other blood groups available, like the A, the B, the AB groups that are red
The
to
AB
the O.
guys, I don't give to anybody.
Luth is, I mean, known for being, well, it used to be known for being the, pardon my, for want of another word to use, the perfect hospital. So I'm sure that even some smaller hospitals approach Luth when they need blood. Am I correct?
Yes.
Good. So good. Are there enough donors coming into Luth to donate so that you will have excess to give to other hospitals?
Okay. For now, no. Like what we go on blood drive. We have a blood mobile bus. So we go out into the community.
Really?
We go to churches, you know, we go I mean, we create awareness and, you know, get blood into the hospital. So part of this event, I mean, this celebration is to make the public know that people can walk into the hospital freely and just donate this blood.
Okay. So we're almost running out of time. So let's ask for the benefits of donating blood. I want to hear that bit.
That benefit actually goes to not just one-time donor, goes to an individual that we call voluntary returning blood donor. You are designated as a returning blood donor if you have consistently donated blood 2 times a year for more than a period of 10 years. Then what we call the true benefit of blood donation comes to you.
Which is
the
what?
number one benefit is that such people don't develop what you call the anemia of the elderly or the anemia of the aged people. The individual that is 70, 80 years old, 85, 90, will have a blood level as if this individual is 40, 50. And what happens is that when you give blood,
Regeneration.
yes, there's what we call bone marrow response to hemorrhage. And your bone marrow, because your bone marrow ages as you are aging, the factory in your body where the blood is synthesized is also aging. What we call red marrow, your bone is 100% red marrow at birth. And as you are aging, the part that is red, that's actually forming blood, is reducing gradually.
Okay.
And then it turns yellow. And then the yellow marrow becomes white marrow. So when you give blood, your so-called yellow marrow has the capacity to revert to red marrow. But if you are not the type that volunteers blood and donate blood, you just age gradually, and by the time you are 70, 80, you will always know that the blood level in people who are regular volunteer blood donor at 70 are always completely different from the blood level of those people who have been volunteer returning blood donor. The second benefit is that we have come to realize from epidemiological assessment that regular volunteer blood donor tend to live a bit longer, like 3 to 5 years more than the average age of people. And this was done not in Nigeria because we haven't had the opportunity of being able to give that epidemiological information. But if you go into the record of the Red Cross, because the Red Cross collect like about 50 million units of blood on annual basis in the United States. And they have the register of their blood donors. If you are their blood donor, at age 65, they will stop collecting blood from you, but they monitor you throughout life. And they have a huge database that actually has proven that those people who have met the so-called definition of a volunteer returning blood donor tend to live I don't know.
Longer.
Maybe God Almighty is saying, so you want to be saving the life of my people, then I will extend your own lifespan too.
Oh, great. Dr. Sendawo, you're chairperson World Blood Donor Day. First of all, when is Blood Donor Day?
It's on the 14th of June every year.
14th of June. Okay. So what do you intend to do on that day?
Okay, we have quite a lot of program planned out for that day. So on the 14th of June this year, 2019, we are planning a parade, so which is going to start at 8 a.m. in the morning. And those in attendance will be hospital consultants from the hospital, resident doctors, paramedics, students of the various schools, like the medical students in the College of Medicine, the Health Information Management, School of Nursing. On that day, too, we are going to have a public lecture, and it's going to be given by the head of Department of the Hematology and Blood Transfusion, Professor Akomo. So the topic is going to be on the health benefits, the wellness of donating blood, to allow the public know what they stand to gain when they give blood.
Okay.
And
So
also,
some of which he has explained to us today.
yes. So we are going to have people in attendance, you know, the management and staff of the hospital, the College of Medicine, students as well. And we are going to have award. We are going to give award for our regular donors,
Okay.
to honor them, and also, yes,
Okay.
and also to create a sort of motivation for other potential
No,
donors.
if you have heard about what Prof just talked about, and how your bone marrow, as you're aging, becomes younger.
Exactly.
In other words, you become younger the more you donate
you will
blood.
get more
So
donors.
You
You will get more
you want
donors.
to do that.
But
Yes,
then the fear
um,
of the blood donated getting to the people that need it.
That is what Jude is asking. Even if we donate blood, how are we still sure that the blood will get to the people that need it without being resold to them at exorbitant prices?
There's no selling of blood in hospital blood banks. The hospital blood bank is set up to ensure that safe, quality blood is given to the donor. However, there are some charges that we must give to ensure that we are able to provide those services. I have to buy the blood bags. I have to screen the blood. I have to test for compatibility of this blood. So these are services that we charge for. People would always ask me, we give you the blood voluntarily, and then you now need the blood in the hospital. You are now passing a bill to us. We need to pass the bill because we have to provide, we have to charge for this for us to be able to continue to provide the services.
Okay. Well, very enlightening indeed. Thank you very much. So even though somebody says many Nigerians are interested in donating blood for money.
Yes.
Very interesting conversation.
That is
Thank you
true.
very much, Professor Alani Akomo, consultant hematologist, and Dr. Deborah Edewo, chairperson World Blood Donor Day, and Jayeoba Olalekan, a voluntary blood donor. Thank you all very much for coming to tell us about this morning, and good luck at your World Blood Donor Day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Sunrise will return in just a moment with another interesting conversation. Do stay with us.